Congressman Raul Grijalva is with us. He is the Congressional Progressive Caucus co-chair and the U.S. Congressman from Tucson, the 7th District of Arizona. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much. Glad to be with you.
I'm always honored and pleased to have you with us. Tell us what's going on with regard to the Progressive Caucus or individual members of Congress or whatever it may be, and the Occupy Wall Street movement, the 99% movement, the groups that are springing up around the country. Your thoughts and what's going on with that?
Well, our initially when it started, the Progressive Caucus indicated support for the occupiers, and we did so in saying that this is a legitimate expression of the frustration, a legitimate expression of free speech, and more importantly, a counterpoint to what has been the direction of policy and politics in this country for about a decade plus, and that the fact that people had taken to utilizing their free speech and to assembling peacefully was an indication that political leadership better start listening. Yeah,
and acting, it seems.
Acting, exactly.
Any thoughts on what none of these groups, a few of the groups have issued lists of demands, but generally speaking, the main message seems to be things are not right, things are unfair, things are not working, we're mad as hell, we're not going to take it anymore. My word's not theirs. And it's up to you guys. You're a member of Congress, for example. It's up to you guys to pass the laws to make things right. So what would those be in your mind?
Well, I think the message, and I think I said the other day, there's some presumption, particularly with the Republican leadership in Congress to say, or others to say, for that matter, to say, well, we need a list of demands in order for us to know what they want. Well, if elected officials in Congress and the Republican leadership are looking for a prescription, one's not forthcoming, because we have yet to issue a prescription from Congress as to how we rectify what I think is the central theme of these occupiers, and I might be wrong. It's an issue of fairness in a very large context. It's an issue of fairness, and I think that one way to begin to balance the scales again is for Congress to quit dithering around about the deficits and the super committee and where do we cut taxes more, how do we keep the policies that have got us in this economic hole, how do we continue to perpetuate those policies? You got to break away from that. And I think what the occupiers, and I think, and not only the people that are physically there, but I think a vast majority of the American people are telling Congress is to break out of this pigeonhole that we're in, and to do something big, and to do something for the American people. And what we sent to the super committee, what we found were what we believe, Progressive Caucus, based on the people's budget, $4 trillion worth of savings to be reinvested in jobs, to be reinvested in rebuilding America, to be reinvested in the programs that are vital to the future of this nation, not to mess with Social Security and Medicare, and we did that by rolling back some of the breaks that we've been given to corporate America as a consequence of the fiscal policies of the last 10 years, closing loopholes, assuring that Wall Street pays its fair share, and that the very rich in this country pay their fair share, and then you begin to balance the scales. I think that's the fairness issues that's involved. We offered a contrast, and I think that's what the occupiers are doing as well, asking for a contrast between what we have going now and where we need to go. And if you let the Bush tax cuts, which we shouldn't have extended for another year, expire when it's supposed to expire, that's an additional $3 trillion that you find.
Wow, it's amazing how much Bush gave away to the rich in his. Congressman Grijalva, the prescriptions, the Progressive Caucus. My understanding is that you are used to be the or one of the largest caucuses in the House of Representatives.
Correct.
I don't know where you stand now relative to the Tea Party caucus since the 2010 election. Where is that?
We're about 77 members and coalescing very well this year. And
you're still the largest caucus in Congress?
I believe we are.
Okay, then why? It seems like when the largest caucus in Congress says, "Hey, here's a plan that's going to work." We've had the CBO run the numbers. We've had Jan Schakowsky on this program a number of times, going through the numbers and the details with us and whatnot. And she's just brilliant on this stuff. Yeah. And it works. It will work. The American people support it. The polling shows it. Why is it not being just grabbed onto by the rest of the Democratic Party and, for that matter, the administration, and run with as hard as they possibly can?
I think I said earlier, the pigeonhole of policy making, which has been, okay, what do the special interests want? What does corporate America want? How do we design something to satisfy them first? And then we'll see we have enough to trickle down for the rest of the Americans in this country. And what the Progressive Caucus did with the people's budget, what we did in our fight for a public option in the health reform bill, that if we had in now would have saved $61 billion a year. And what we're doing now with the issue that we're taking to the super committee in terms of where you can find money without hurting Americans, we did that, and we're going to continue to do that. I think it is. I facetiously say it's our effort to occupy the minds of Congress with something, an alternative.
Yeah.
And more than an alternative, I think the Democratic Party, and I think this administration, should take what we're proposing not as some symbolistic gesture, but that it is a concrete policy. It is a fiscal direction that's going to make us solvent, balance the budget, and still take care of the needs of this country.
Yeah.
And I think now, particularly because of what's going on all across this country with the protests, that there is going to be more attention and more scrutiny to what we're proposing, and we welcome that scrutiny because we have validated it with CBO, independent economists, etc. And so we feel our numbers are solid.
No, your numbers are, and they will work, and they will solve these problems. It's going to make some very, very rich people squirm, and that's my last question to you. We've got 40, 50 seconds here.
Okay.
And that is, are you, the 77 of you, concerned? I mean, these individual members of Congress, a billionaire could easily knock out any of you, or maybe even all of you. Are you concerned about the upcoming elections, about Karl Rove's PAC and things like that?
The money, and now that corporations are persons, the money, the money is always. I had the toughest race I've ever had last time because there was a lot of outside money that came in. Yep. Many of us anticipate that same kind of fight, but the counterbalance for us, and I'm very secure about that, is public opinion and public support, and I think we have that. It's no accident that the Republican Party ranks me as one of the top 20 that they'd like to get.
Yeah.
And but I don't think it's because of anything else other than the philosophy that we're promoting. And progressives respect challenges, but we feel that we have not only the angels on our side, but that we have popular support for our position.
And you do. Congressman Raul Grijalva of Arizona, thank you.
Thank you.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
The Progressive Caucus's website, by the way, Grijalva, GRIJALVA.house.gov.